when I got started on my journey to being who I wanted to be and living a life more of my own choosing, I had many different things in my way. Many different parts of my conscious and my subconscious, more than anything, that slowed me down, that knocked me off track, that misaligned my actions from getting to on the path of where I wanted to get to. Okay? Most of these things were, like you said, patterns, subconscious ways of thinking that I had made habitual, and then also my habits that came from those misaligned thought patterns. Okay? These habits that we're going to talk about today and the idea of them are what I like to call potential poppers. Right? They are things that slow down your potential. They might completely disarrange your potential and your pursuit of it, right? They pop your potential, man. They knock you off track. They hurt your journey of where you're trying to get to, like very much so, in many situations. Like, and it just depends. So even just a little bit might be more than you're willing to risk. It should be, at least once you get to that point, right? But I know in my journey, when I started, I had all these different habits that were throwing me off. I mean, I just started wanting to make more money, and when I was still in school, I wanted to start making some more money than just my, piddly little job I had at the time. I wanted to have more freedom. I wanted to have more, expression of myself to be able to do what I wanted to do. Honestly, I wanted to be able to stay at home with my fiance, my now fiance more so, right? But that got me moving. That got me starting to take action. But so many times, my potential poppers threw me off track. They hurt my progression, and I wouldn't say force because I was choosing to do them, but they would make it so that I was not making as much progress as I could have been, which then had an effect on my conscious and how I was feeling about the process. And there was many times I wanted to give up. There was many times I wanted to say, this is stupid. What am I doing? I'm wasting my time. And that right there is where most people get and never end up going farther because of. They get in that mindset, right? They maybe they make some strides forward. They're really motivated and they go really hard and they make some sort of a difference. But before they know it, something bad happens, something harmful, something gets in the way, and it hurts their conscience. It hurts their way they feel about everything. And slowly but surely they get more and more off track. Or maybe they get all off track all to begin with. Then they're back to where they used to be. Maybe they're even in worse of a situation. That's actually a topic for a different conversation. I kind of talked about it this week, I believe. Like I said, when we give up on those things that mean so much to us, we spiral. We go downhill very quickly. Right? I'll link that at the end of the video. But back to what I was saying. These habitual thought patterns and habits that take us out of alignment of where we're trying to get to. Right? Like here I was trying to make more money. I was trying to do more with my life. Again, where I started, I was just trying to be able to not have to work as much and stay at home in bed. Right? That was my thinking. I was like, how can I do this? I know that, and I started opening my mind up. I was like, I know there's people that do this. I know there's people that make 100 times as much, 1,000 times as much money as I. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, they don't have to work as much, right? Now, that's a whole different conversation. But as I went down that path, it having to do the work to be more of that individual, it was painful at times. I was never averse to work, but it was painful having to do more of these different things. But it erased this part of this mission that was like, I don't, do all this so you don't have to work as much. No, it became be as much as you can be, and you will have everything that you want, and you won't even want to just be laying in bed, right? Laying in bed will be like purposeful. It'll be sleep. That's it. You know what I mean? But my point is that as I was going down that path of getting more to that point, there was different habits that I had, right? Smoking weed, just eating crappy food, not working out, missing workouts. these different things that would take me off track, that would hurt my process, that would slow me down, that I would do, and then maybe it leads to another, one leads to another. The next thing you know, you're more off track. You don't feel so good the next day. Then you feel you miss the next thing. You miss the next workout, and maybe you're in a bad time in general. Maybe something else happens, or maybe just that, and you're like, you know what, this stuff's way easier. I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna stay on this lower level, and part of your conscious kind of slips into the backside, and you start being avoidant. Once you're avoidant, many issues come up. Many issues. And when you're being avoidant, you're practically giving your middle finger to God or the universe, whatever you believe in, and saying, I'm not grateful. Saying, hey, I know you've given me all this potential and you've given me all these challenges to only make me better, but I don't care. I'm uninterested. I got better stuff to do. Right? Our ego, our child, our inner child, our shadow have funny ways of working us, of working our mind. Very funny ways. And it's not until we heal them that we can make a difference in that area. But a different topic once again. These potential poppers that I had, they were like a wall at times in between who I was at the time and who I wanted to be, the things I was more wanting to do, the situations I wanted to be in more so. There was a wall in between. And that wall was saying, you know what, you're over here, man, this is you. And that you over there, it's not really real. That's cliche. Don't believe in that. You're better off over here, man. It's comfortable. It's comfortable. That other stuff, it's extra, man. That's a load of hogwash, right? That wall sits there, and it prevents you from, it can prevent you from moving forward. It's the wall that says this is purposeless. You could just be having fun over here. You could just be, watching TV, playing video games, drinking, like whatever. That wall sits right there, and it's a wall of habits, of habitual thinking patterns, and of actual habitual actions that keep us in that certain state of mind that says, I can't progress. I will not get there. Those words just hurt coming out of my mouth. I hate saying stuff like that, but I'm saying it for you guys, right? So you can understand. That wall sits there. And it isn't until after you break past this wall that you're able to see it for what it really is. Right? When you're stuck over here, it literally looks like a wall like in the side of a room, or a brick wall that you could not get through. Right? As you start working towards it, working down that path, you start to see it's like a chain link fence or some sort of wooden fence, right? And as you work through it more and more, and you break past it more and more, the fence gets even wider in between the rings, right? And you're able to slip through in different ways. Next thing you know, once you break past that motherfucker, you're out of it, right? There's a big ass hole in the fucking fence, and you're living on the other side. You ain't never going back, but you could. You could if you let yourself. You could slip back into those habitual patterns. But there will always be that break in the gate, that break in the fence, that knowing that you got out of it, that understanding you're now conscious of your ability to get out of it. Right? You understand what has been seen cannot be unseen. It's universal law. Right? So once you break out of that, then you're there, man. You made it to that side. You just got to keep going down the road. But you might slip back. Those potential poppers, they got a funny way of slipping back into your life, man. I'm telling you, they got a funny way. So they might slip back at times. You got to be that motherfucker that breaks back through that motherfucking fence. And you keep that fence broken into the goddamn ground. You got to take a shovel, dig up each post, burn that motherfucking fence, and just be that motherfucker who lives on the other side. Who lives on the side you want to live on. Of control. Let me not say control. Of choosing the life you want to live, of living up to your higher destiny, of being someone of purpose, of passion, of fulfillment. You see that wall, that fence in the middle right there, that's our lower self. That's the devil, if you will. No matter what you believe in, that's the motherfucking devil. That is the 7 deadly sins that'll hold you back from that life you want to live. But until you get to that point, until you get past that motherfucker, you don't see it like that. We identify, our ego, our child, our shadow self, they identify with this wall. Especially once we battle it and fall short, we start identifying with it. We're like, oh, that's just me. You know, my drinking habit, man, that's just part of me. What can I say? I'm just a drinker. Watching TV is just part of me. That's just what I do. No, motherfucker. These are physical incarnations of unexpressed potential. These are frustrations of your higher self. This is what happens when you avoid what your higher self is trying to tell you for so long. Right? Because what we go through, we grow through. So when you're going through the absence of adversity and you're going through the simplicity, well, let me not say simplicities. You're going through the pleasures, right? And that's all you know. That's all you're striving to have. You just got to get off of work so you can go home and watch TV. When that's all you're trying to do, you start identifying with that. That becomes part of your inner dialogue. Who you're thinking you want to be. And it's a load of fucking shit, dude. Because you're not happy with it. Yeah, I'm not saying there's not times for simple pleasures, because there 100% is. Moderation, right? But as humans, we're meant to progress. And we're meant to progress at things that help us. We're meant to go down that road of passion and fulfillment. Of living a life of purpose. Of having meaning. And we can all have that. But you see that motherfucking wall. It sits there and it holds us back. And it doesn't allow us to break through it. Because of our own actions. We don't allow ourselves to break through it. Those lower sides of ourselves that haven't been healed. That go through trauma and forget how to be. They help us forget how to be ourselves. They hold us back. They make us sit here, look at the rest of the world in this negative light that we don't understand who we are anymore. We identify with the pain. And we hold ourselves from breaking through that wall that we're meant to break through. That life of our own choosing is on the other side of. We have these potential poppers, these things that keep us there, that make us feel like we aren't enough. Like we don't have infinite potential. When we're in reality, all of our energy, all of our potential is going into bullshit. It's going into activities and habits that make us feel bad. They hurt our health. They hurt our energy. They're just a waste of fucking time when we don't have enough figured out. Either way. Don't allow this devil that sits in between all of us. Don't allow your lower parts of yourself to be so unhealed that your higher self is constantly lonely, all by itself, trying and trying and trying and trying. Because that's one thing, your higher self will never give up on you. It will never give up on you, motherfucker. You give up on you. If that lower self gets strong enough, it becomes too powerful in certain ways. It has all the energy draining it could possibly imagine because of this unhealed trauma, because of these unhealed thinking patterns. It'll feel like it's impossible. It'll look like it's impossible. But it's always possible. And your higher self is always calling you. You can't erase the soul, man. You can't erase what's inside of you that wants you to be more. But your habits, your lifestyle choices, your thinking patterns, they'll sure make it seem like it. They'll sure hold you on that other side of that wall and prevent you from making progress in the ways you really want to. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something from it. If this made you think of something, let me know below. Let me know what you think in general. I'd love to hear about your pursuit, the walls that you've broken through, or what you're struggling with right now. Because I promise you, you can do it, my friend. You can break through that motherfucker and leave it in the past. As long as you continue down that road. And when it emerges back, you smack it in his fucking face. And you do what you got to do to break it. And to stay on that right side. And even when you fall short, even when you fall on that other side at times, you always get up and you keep going down that path. Because life inside the fence, that ain't right, man. It ain't right. We're supposed to live life of our choosing and not be prisoners of our own mind. Let's go get them, guys. Let's live a life of passion and fulfillment. Let's be who we're meant to be. You got this. Let's go.